The Coach Curl podcast is brought to you by Think and Grow Business, the home of the Think and Grow Business Mastermind. If you're serious about growing your business, get serious and join a mastermind group today. Find out more at thinkandgrowbusiness.com.au.
Hey there, it's Coach Curl here, and welcome to episode 124 of the Coach Curl podcast. Today, the drive leaders must have to be a great leader.
Way to go. Keep it going. Good job, guys. All right, Paul, I see you. Good job, Coach Cole. Good job, guys. Coach Cole, we love you.
Hey, and welcome. It's episode 124 of the Coach Curl podcast. What makes a great leader? And as you know, we've been dissecting the anatomy of a leader over the last couple of weeks. And today we're starting to explore a little bit more about the transformative mind. And today we discuss the aspect of that mind, the aspect that I call drive. Now, drive is also a term that was used by Daniel Pink in his book by the same name. And where Daniel Pink talked about motivation. And he actually labelled it like motivation 2.0 or 3.0 it might have been, to be honest. And in that, Pink described motivation as being linked to purpose and those internal drivers of intrinsic motivation. So as we've dissected the anatomy of the leader, we've discussed the aspect of the core. Now, a leader's calling is part of what drives us internally. So the drive that I talk about is slightly different to what Daniel Pink talks about. But it forms part of the same aspect, I suppose. So when we talked about the call and pop back and have a look at that particular episode on the podcast, all about calling is about a leader's purpose. And a leader's purpose really does help drive us intrinsically. So have that internal drivers of motivation. But the drive that I talk about in respect of the transformative mind is the drive that's linked to results. It's about driving performance. And this is so important for a leader because ultimately a leader is measured by results. And when a leader is aligned to their core and their heart and their mind, this is the best way that they can create transformative results within their team and their business. And it's this drive, the drive to get results, the leader's drive, for want of another word, that matches the desire and takes their leadership to the next level. It is really about performance and outcomes. The results and the performance of a leader and a leader's team comes down to the leader's drive. So what does it look like? Inspiration and motivation is certainly part of it. And the inspiration and motivation of the team is part of it. And I get asked so many times, Tony, how does a leader do that? And often when we break down the key concepts around performance management, now, most people when we talk performance management, think about the negative aspects around performance management. It's about delivering disciplinary means around underperformance. But there's more concepts around performance management. But when we break down those concepts, we talk about some of those key deliverables that help create a performance culture. And as a leader, it's your responsibility to create a performance culture. And this is the starting point for us to create the drive that a leader requires. Drive starts with setting clear expectations. Clear expectations around goals and standards and performance. So drive starts with setting those clear expectations around goals, standards, and the performance of the team. It's about having the team deliver on these expectations And by doing this, we create this this culture of performance and accountability. You know, as a coach and as someone that facilitates a performance culture within teams and organizations, I get amazed how many people going through life with little goals, and no goals. There are so many people that just don't have a goal, you know. I know that when I was recruiting in my previous roles, for example, in the corporate world, just one of the first questions I would always ask, just to build rapport and make the person feel comfortable, I'd always ask them about what's the goal that you've set for yourself this year. And I'd always get amazed at how many people just would wing it. I just want to be better than what I was, and just some of that general stuff. And as we know, generalizations around goal settings just don't work. They're not motivated. They're not specific enough. They're not clear enough. They don't create desire. And in this case, they don't create drive. So I get amazed how many people have too few goals. So many people flying under the radars. They're not setting a standard or an expectation for themselves in their work lives. But I also get amazed how many leaders and companies put up with this poor, insipid performance because of driven by the lack of drive within the team. And I get always amazed how many leaders blame the team. So we've got leaders and companies out there putting up with insipid performance, and then they're blaming the lack of drive from the team members for that performance. But they're putting up with it as well. And many see it as a necessary cost of doing business, but ultimately that's not the case, because it all stems from the leader. And this is where they get it wrong, right? It's the leader that needs to have the drive, the clear intention to create that drive within their team. So they get it wrong, time and time and time again. The leader is the one that needs to have the intention, and the intention must be to create drive within the team. And for me, step one is always about having really clear standards and expectations. What you walk past as a leader is what you accept. And if you don't have those standards, or if you accept standards that are lesser than what they should be, then it's not the team member that has the issue. It's the leader that's the problem. So step one is always about having clear standards and expectations. It is about having goals. It is about supporting your team to set goals. It is about having key performance indicators, those KPIs that we get measured on. And it's about having a process where we monitor that along the way. A leader measures performance and then uses performance as a motivating tool. It helps bring accountability and delivers a culture that becomes autonomous and self-maintaining. So when you have a high-performing team that is self-regulating, self-leading, you know that you have created a performance culture. When people buy into a performance culture and people buy into the team, it's amazing the results that you can get. But it doesn't happen without intention from the leader. The leader with drive builds the performance culture with clear standards. They build that performance culture with clear standards, KPIs, and expectations. And they work, coach, provide feedback to ensure they get exceptional delivery. Because when it's all done correctly, it leads to fantastic execution. Great execution, exceptional delivery. And that's why drive's so important for a leader. Because, you know, think about some of those key topics, those key words that I've talked about today: goals, standards, execution, buy-in. Now that doesn't happen with a lackluster approach from the leader. It only happens with intention from the leader. And it's that intention that builds drive. And it's drive that makes that happen. So reflect on what's happening with your team, with your company, with your business. Are you happy with the results and the outcomes that you're getting? And then think about what's needed from you to help drive that. Because this is what creates a performance culture. It starts from what we've discussed. We use intention to create this foundation for results. And during the process of delivering and creating this performance culture, we align back to the leader's heart to coach, provide feedback, create structure and process for the continual delivery of performance and outcomes. So a great leader inspires action and drives performance. Think about those key topics: action, standards, execution. And when a leader approaches this with intention, it is absolutely amazing what they can achieve. Thanks for listening. Once again, as always, we appreciate your feedback. We check, and if you want to provide feedback, head on over to coachcurl.com, click on the contact form and share your feedback. What was some of those key takeaways that you've taken from this continuing sessions around what makes a great leader? Next week, we talk about the final aspect of what makes a great leader, and that's discipline. And as a leader and as a person wanting to achieve the best in life, we all need discipline. Please share this podcast with whoever you feel may benefit. We thank you all for sharing the podcast with people. And often we'll get feedback from people thanking us for putting it out, but mentioning that someone else had passed our podcast on. If you do like the podcast, we always appreciate reviews. As per always, I'd like to thank the team out at Think and Grow Business. If it wasn't for them, they're our major sponsor. We love having them on board, improving the performance of people in business. That's their mantra. Check them out at thinkandgrowbusiness.com.au. Don't forget the Coach Curl Academy has now got 73 programs available for you to strengthen mindset, leadership, and your business. And it's all available for one value-packed monthly subscription fee. It's just $14.95 to be a silver member, and that's AU dollars, that's Australian dollars, and $19.95. And don't forget, you get your first 30 days for just $1. Don't forget, check out tonycurl.com.au. That's my author's page where you can pick up a copy of Seriously Simple Stuff to get you unstuck. You can buy a signed copy, which I'm happy to deliver anywhere in the world, or you can just get the digital download. Don't forget, 20% of every book sold goes to support the wonderful people at Carter's Cause, helping those parents and the families of kids born with congenital heart disease. Our latest sponsor is Totally Builderall. It's a fully integrated digital marketing platform for your business. Check it out at totallybuilderall.com. Sign up for the free 7-day trial. Don't forget, it's just about to be upgraded. July 3, I think, Builderall 3.0 comes into effect. So join up now. Make sure you grandfather in on the prices that are available now, because the price will be going up. As per always, thanks for joining us today. You are standing. You are still standing. You have faced every single challenge that you have had. You are stronger. You are braver. You are wiser. And don't ever forget that golden rule. Just don't be an arsehole. Until next week, I'll see you then.